Welcome back at Eagles Financials. This is one of our podcasts here. We got our partner, John Gourdin, who's also an integrity partner, and we partnered together on the Medicare side, and he's been an amazing mentor. He's been helping us and our team to build the system, build the structure, and actually have that foundation that all our team can actually depend on. Right. So John, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Amazing, man. Well, thank you for being available, man. You came all the way from Maryland.
Yep.
I mean, coming down here in Florida and making it happen. Some of these guys like have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
Right. One of the questions, I mean, how did you get started in Medicare industry in general?
How did I get started? Well, I've been in the insurance industry since '93. So I'm an old man in the insurance world. But I started off on the life side. I was a career agent with MetLife and New York Life. And one of the things that got me into Medicare was, I did a lot of annuity sales back in the day, and I was looking for a lead source. And I came across a company that was offering free leads with seniors for Medicare.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. They were scheduling appointments for us. I was like, excellent. So in my mind, I'm thinking seniors, good Lord, they must have all the money in the world. At that point, I'll make a killing with rollovers. But the seniors they were scheduling appointments for me with were lower income seniors on Medicaid, dual eligibles. And what I found was, while I didn't have the gold mine that I was expecting, I did have a gold mine of a different sort. Because I'm sitting down with seniors and helping them understand how their Medicare benefits work. And they were so receptive to that. I was so used to being in the life world where you're chasing elephants and you sit down with someone that's got a couple $100,000 to roll over from one place to another. And, well, I got to talk to my accountant or my lawyer or this or that, the other. And they've got everyone in the world chasing after them. And there's an old saying, big money moves slow. When I got into the industry working with Medicare beneficiaries, they were so receptive, and we sat down and, they embraced you because they weren't used to getting that kind of personalized attention. So that's one of the things that I fell in love with that. And that's what made me stay with it. Well, it's a big part of what made me stay for it. The money doesn't hurt either.
I mean, you do really well in Medicare, but it's not just about that. I mean, obviously,
Yep.
But Medicare is really about the senior citizen out there.
Yep.
And one thing about me, John, is, in the life industry, number one, I mean, the chargeback is ridiculously high, right? Because you're dealing with a lot of, people always have cold feet when it comes down to their life insurance bill.
Yep.
It's like the life insurance bill is usually the last results, right? Like
Yep.
like the least important to them.
Right. First
They
to
rather they rather have their cable bill.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the first thing to go.
Exactly. You want to save money, you let your life insurance go, right? But with Medicare, it's obviously it's a $0 a month plan, right? They don't have to pay for it, so there's no reason for them to cancel it. In fact, some of these plans they give them like a Plan B give back, which
Yep.
is money back that goes into their Social Security as long as they're actually qualified for it, and as long as it benefits them, right? So the reality is you're truly helping seniors, and you're not twisting arms to just get their banking information anymore, which is amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, along that line, one of the biggest obstacles I came across in this environment was it sounds too good to be true. Like, wait a minute, I get all these benefits and it doesn't cost me anything. But, well, you're paying your Part B premium. There is a cost, but you've already paid for it. Getting people to understand that those additional benefits come from them paying their Medicare premiums.
100%. I usually refer to, I had that couple of times with clients, and they're like, hey, do you remember when you used to work? I'm like, yeah. Do you have any of those pay stubs?
Yep.
Like, yeah. I'm like, can you pull up that pay stub? You can see Medicare on it.
Yep.
You paid into it when you were working.
Yep.
Now my job is to make sure we maximize those benefits for you.
There it is.
Right? It's that simple. They have paid for it. It is not free, but it is $0 a month because they paid for it already. So it's no cost to them. Fair enough. A little bit, what inspired you, to stay in this field for 15 years? I mean, you've been in Medicare for 15 years now, right?
Yep.
What inspired you?
I went from helping seniors to building a team and becoming a force multiplier and helping agents help people. And seeing the seniors be successful in terms of maintaining their health or improving their health, seeing agents become successful in building a book of business and achieving renewals. So it's helping the clients and helping the agents, and it helps me. So over time, it's just kind of snowballed. It's got to a point now where it's like, why stop?
Literally, why stop?
Exactly.
We're not done yet, like what Tony said, right?
Exactly.
I remember when I was talking to Tony, I'm like, hey, uh, where we stand now, I mean, you're doing really well. I'm like, I'm not done. I'm
Yeah.
not done yet. Like,
No.
the road is paved. Just keep going, right?
There's always someone else that needs help. Another
Always.
client, another agent. There's no shortage of people that need help.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And John, a little bit about about you, right? You've seen a lot of changes over the years in the Medicare, obviously.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they see changes, they walk away, right? They get scared. Whatever it is that scared them. Obviously, in business, everything changed every year.
Yeah.
For God's sake, our taxes raises every year, so everything changes, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't see anybody complain about that because they have to pay that, right? But what kept you, passionate about serving the senior with all the legal thing that's been changing every single year?
Well, I mean, with change comes opportunity. Our busiest time of year is Medicare, the annual election period. And if there weren't changes, there wouldn't be anyone for us to talk to for the most part. I mean, if you think about it, if a customer signed up for a Medicare plan 5 years ago and nothing changed and everything was the same way it was when they signed up, who would we talk to now? So when those changes come about, as complex as it can be for an agent, imagine how complicated it is for a senior. So having the ability to sit down with them and say, hey, look, this is 3 things change every year. Medicare changes, your benefits change, and your circumstances change. My job is to make sure that as these things shift, that you are in the right place every year. This is more about relationships than it is about product. Okay, it's about you establishing a relationship with your customers. And in that way, no matter what plan they go to, one of the beauties of the Medicare world is that what you earn is regulated by CMS. So you don't make more by selling one company versus another on the
Medicare. Fairly protected. Too.
Yeah. So you don't have skin in the game as far as which company. You want to pick the company that the customer likes. The plan that works for that customer is the plan they're going to stay with. And that's what you want. You want a plan that your customers are going to stay with.
And put the client first, obviously. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing. So one thing I've learned out of this, guys, is, and we're building a team now. We're building, with John here, we're building a massive team on the Medicare side, which is amazing. We're growing really fast. And one thing I learned about the growth in Medicare is, as long as you put client first, you don't have to twist arms. You put the client first. You help the client with their benefits, right? Give them the benefit that they needed, right? That they can take advantage of, and they'll put you first. They can be your client for life, and as long as you keep that communication with them, that's all that matters.
Yep.
And John, looking back, what one thing you wish you knew when you were, a brand new agent in Medicare?
I wish I understood that this was a relationship business. Sales are important, don't get me wrong, but forming good relationships with clients. When I sit down with a client and I deliver service to them, I'm informing them on how Medicare is changing and how this will impact them and what the best moves are for them. It doesn't always result in a sale, but if I have a good rapport with these customers, again, the same thing I said earlier, things change every year. If I have a great rapport with them and things change next year, and they call me and say, hey, I got this letter saying such and such. If they trust me and they like me, they'll come back to me. So had I learned that earlier on, I wouldn't have been in the lead chase. Every year chasing behind new leads. Over time, you should get to a point where you don't need leads. You have enough relationships with enough people that not only are they coming back to you, but they think highly enough of you to send other people to you. That's when you know the rubber's really hit the road as far as building your business. When you come into an enrollment period and your question isn't who am I going to talk to, it's how am I going to talk to all these people? That's where you want to get.
It's the way I look at it, and I tell every senior out there that when I'm dealing with with senior citizens, like, hey, I'm gonna treat you the same way I would treat my own parents or
Absolutely.
my own grandparents, right?
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that you're taken care of the proper way. You know, doctors, medication, and pharmacies are covered, and those are really important.
Yep.
Um, um, are you able to, or can you share a client story that really reminded you why we do this work?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not going to say her name.
Oh yeah, don't say the name, but
But one of my oldest clients, when I was newer in the industry, my mentor was effectively letting some of his better agents service his book. So I met, I was about to say her name. I met her probably 15 years ago. And we sat down, we made a great rapport. And one of the things that I think about is like we got to a point where like she would need help for something or she wanted me to take a look at something. So I'd just drive by her house. And it got to a point where we were so familiar with one another. Like over the years, I brought my daughter with me. So she'd seen my daughter, go through middle school, elementary, college, high school, everything. She's seen the whole progression. So that was kind of goes back to what I'm saying. It's about relationships. You're doing this long enough, you have story after story after story. These aren't just sales, a number on a board. These are people that you've connected with. And that's really what this is all about. It's about helping seniors. You got to remember, these are folks that are in their golden years. I'm getting older now. Like the 65 is not that far from me anymore. So I want to treat my clients the same way I would want to be treated. Okay.
fair enough.
And that's so important. So that's one of the things, I wouldn't have had such a long relationship with my client had she'd not trusted that I had her best interest at heart.
Amazing, amazing. And now I know you did say you moved from the life insurance obviously into this.
Mm-hmm.
I did too. And one thing about the life insurance is it's all about the numbers.
Right.
Right? You just sell,
Mm-hmm.
and you can 20% whatever charge back. You just keep
Yep.
the momentum going there. But the minute you stop,
Yep.
it's where the chargebacks start hitting you, right?
Yep.
The one other thing about life insurance that I've learned too is every January 1st you start at zero,
Yep.
right?
Life insurance is a what have you done for me lately business.
Oh yeah,
You could have had a great year last year. January 1st, what have you done for me lately?
100%. Oh yeah. Well, what are the biggest misconception that new agents have about working in the Medicare space?
A couple of things. You touched on it. And on some level, it is a numbers game. But the numbers game is not about sales. It's about activity. It's about talking to people. Okay. So that's one misconception. A lot of times agents get so caught up in trying to learn every single thing about Medicare and insurance companies. And really what it boils down to is you could be an expert in policies and everything else, but be horrible at talking to customers and building rapport and establishing trust. And if you can't do those things, all that other knowledge is useless because you don't have anyone to talk to. If they don't like you and they don't trust you, they're not going to want to spend the time listening to you go on and on about MOOPs and premiums and deductibles. If I don't like you and I can't wait for you to get out of my house or get off of my phone, the content that you're sharing with me is not going to be valuable.
100%. That's very important, and I share this a lot when we're dealing with clients, and I actually told this to my team. There's 5-step process in sales,
Mm-hmm.
right? So step number, and that I use this whether in the life insurance, whether in the Medicare,
Mm-hmm.
Step number 1, build a solid report.
Yep.
That's the step number 1, and the reason I build a report because that will build a client relationship trust,
Absolutely.
right? What report means is talking about the things that unlike like get away from the product. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why when I sell flooring even too.
Mm-hmm.
I used to sell flooring at this company. I was their number 1 agent nationwide, and one thing I used to do is build a rapport with them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See the kids, I'm like, hey, how old are the kids? Now start talking about my kids for a minute, right? Talk about their dogs, talk about their cats, talk about their loved one, whatever it is, their son, their daughter, like those little things that you can actually build a rapport with, right? And build a relationship.
Yeah.
Fair. The second thing that the second step in sales is build their why. What the purpose of the communication here. And the third step is obviously we don't use that in Medicare, but in general it's finances to figure out whether or not they can afford the product we're doing, right? But with Medicare, good thing is you don't have to do that anyway. But step number 4, normally that's where I start going into the plans, going into the sales process and helping the client with their benefits.
Right.
Step number 5, which is a tie down. And that's where hey, listen, this is what we did. I got your back. Anything you need, I'm here for you. I'm your agent for life. I'll be checking on you more often than usual, all that fun stuff, right? Yep. These are stuff that you really necessarily have to do. It's not just about, okay, yeah, you give me your money, I'm good, thank you, have a good day, right? It is about building that relationship with the client, which is what you touched base on, and that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. So circling back, I think you said step number 3 about qualifying them.
Correct.
I think even in Medicare, there's a factor there. Really, what it boils down to is you want to be able to quantify the benefit to them. So we're taking a different approach. It's not necessarily trying to see if they can afford it, but a lot of times numbers talk.
Yeah.
And the customer understanding that, hey, look, you're spending this much money every month on your health care now. As a result of that, I want to know what your baseline is, so that if you're not excited about all those bells and whistles, the dollars and cents of, okay, you're spending this much money. You're spending $500 a month on your premiums and co-pays and so forth.
And deductibles.
But by making this change, this is what we cut it down to. I can cut that in half. Okay, even if they don't understand all the bells and whistles, they understand math. I can understand that 250 is less than 500. It makes it a lot easier for people to justify the change, especially when they have to later on perhaps defend that decision. A lot of times what happens, you're talking with seniors, they make a decision to make a change, and their son, daughter, neighbor, whoever comes along and says, yeah, why did you do that? And being able to give a quantifiable benefit to them is a quick and easy answer that they can give. What's saving me $200 a month? Who can argue with that?
100%. Wow. So there it is. So instead of financing, it's qualifying. So number 3 already. And then, one thing here, in your opinion, John, what separates an average Medicare agent from a great one?
An average Medicare agent is only focused on making the sale today. A great Medicare agent knows their clients. Kind of circling back to one of your earlier questions for something I wish I'd done better or knew earlier in my career, and that was documenting my interaction with customers. When I meet with a client, what they talk about is important to them. If they talk about their grandchildren, their son or daughter getting married or whatever the case may be, that's important to them. That's why they mentioned their pets. That's important to them. So if you don't make a note of that, you're missing the key things that help distinguish you from the next salesperson. Because I know things about your family. Hey, Ms. Jones, last time we spoke, remember your grandson was about to graduate from college. I think you said he was graduating from University of Maryland, right? Yeah. Boom, instant rapport. Even if you haven't talked to them a while, the fact that you remember that sets you apart. No one else can fake that.
100%. So you gotta make sure you take the notes down. Yep. To make that magic happen.
Yep.
So
and that's the key point. You get to a point you're not going to remember everybody. So you go into a consultation with one of your clients, you want to refresh yourself on their circumstance. What did we talk about last time? What are the things that are important to them? And in that way, when you sit down, you start with what's important to them. Then you move on to what's important to you. But it starts and ends with what's important to the client.
A lot of the times, the way I'm going to comment on that too, a lot of times when you're dealing with, I think any type of sales, but specifically Medicare, is you gotta when I get somebody to laugh, in that sense of humor, that's also build a lot of trust.
Absolutely.
Because now they're a lot more comfortable with you.
Yep.
Like I say a lot of things. Like I remember this one. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna finish this for you, then I'll be out of your hair. And I'm like, well, I have no hair. I'm like, me too. So we're on the same page. right? So it is one of those things like you gotta have that sense of humor and work with, have fun with them.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's a very unique, and when you do that, you also get through the day faster, right?
Yep.
Um, Medicare is a very highly regulated market.
Hmm.
How do you, stay compliant while still building a strong relationships?
Great question. Well, every year, as a Medicare agent, we have to go through AHIP certification.
100%.
So typically, the changes that are coming for the upcoming year are communicated. A lot of the changes are communicated. A lot of the information in AHIP is redundant, but there's a lot of changes. But also getting plugged into the Medicare community, because a lot of times, it's like taking a driver's test. Okay, you go to get your driver's license, you take your driver's test, you pass the test. Does that mean you're a good driver? No. Okay, that comes from experience. That comes from riding with other people that know how to drive well, and it's having other people that know how to drive well ride with you and give you those pointers along the way. Medicare is the same thing. There's going to be things that are communicated, but it's really the question of how do you apply that. And a lot of times, the best way to learn how to apply the regulations, like how to move your business forward when a hurdle is put up in front of you saying you can't do this anymore. Okay, well, I still want to help my clients. How do I overcome that? If you're out there on your own, making it up on your own, well, you could be hit or miss. Instead of leveraging a community, like having a team, like your team, having mentors, folks that are plugging into your team aren't just getting you. They're getting global. They're getting me. They're getting, all the resources that are out there. So they're not out there on their own. They're not building a business by themselves. They're not out there trying to figure out how do I navigate all this
They
regulation
got
and so forth.
resources that they can depend on.
You have everything, and you can just ask questions.
Yep, this maybe sound funny, but I say this all the time. We say things like, "There's no such thing that is dumb's question.
Right.
There's dumbs who don't ask questions."
Exactly.
And I can't remember where I heard that, but I've been saying that like crazy, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, and the second thing I always tell people is, you know, you gotta put the ego aside when you feel like you know more than anyone, or
Hmm.
more than more than most people. Because at the end of the day, I look at things that it's a learning curve. I learn from people. People learn from me. We all learn from each other's,
Absolutely.
and that's how it should be. And the person that stops learning is the person who stops growing,
Yep.
right? So, which is something that's really unique here. You gotta, stay humble. I told you this morning what we called eagles, right? Or
Hmm.
yesterday, I think.
Yep. It was
We,
this morning.
well, this morning,
Yep.
the reason we called eagles, people fly high with the eagles. Eagles wake up early. Eagles, to go, goes to their target early. They start attacking their target early, right?
Hmm.
To try to, to feed themselves. That's what eagles are. That's what we called eagles. So there's a saying from Pitbull I heard is, he said is, and that's where we got it from. Like we fly high with the eagles, not low with the egos, right?
Hmm.
There's a lot of egos out there that you never know everything, right? But if you jump in with the right system, the right structure, the way we have it here, Eagles and Global, and some advice, we have an amazing opportunity. All you have to just plug in and play. That's all it is.
It is.
We have everything in place. Plug in and play, right?
Yep.
During AAP, what habits or tools or system that help you stay organized and effective?
Well, I think the same, I guess, concepts apply year round, really. AEP just becomes a little bit more concentrated. You have to have a plan. Ultimately, what it boils down to is if you don't have a game plan for how you're going to accomplish your day, every day should have a plan. Hey, I'm starting at this time. This is what I'm going to accomplish. Like there's the building blocks of your day. There's all these different things. There's administrative things that need to be done. There's prospecting that needs to be done. There's fact finding. There's actually selling. All these things have to happen. Now the question becomes, especially in AEP, a lot of the admin stuff should be pushed to the side. Like that should have been done already. Now it's not. There's an old saying: "There's a time to fish and there's a time to chop bait." Well, you should have had the bait chopped already. You don't wait until you're out there and the fish are biting and then you're trying to get your bait together. You should be on the phone or in front of customers. In sales, if you're not in front of a customer or on the phone with a customer, you're unemployed. You're self-employed. You don't make a living unless you're helping people. You're not helping people unless you're talking to people. That's where a lot of people get caught up. They get in this paralysis by analysis and all making all these plans. You know what? Boom. October 15th, when the gun goes off, you got to hit the ground running. It's time to go. You shouldn't be still planning and figuring out what shoes you're going to wear today.
Yeah.
You got to get out there and
That's
talk
not
to
ready.
people.
That's what it is.
Right.
They get in and they're not ready. I mean, you gotta take your business very seriously, and you wanna treat this as a business. You're gonna get better as a business, but you wanna treat this as a hobby. You're gonna get better as a hobby.
Absolutely.
Right. So
when you think about that, any other business, if I want to open a McDonald's or Starbucks, any kind of franchise, okay, there's an expectation that my store opens at a certain time and that it closes at a certain time. I've got to show up every single day. I don't, a lot of times there's this misnomer that when you work for yourself, you can work whenever you want to. When you work for yourself, you actually work harder, or you should be working harder than you do when you work for somebody else. Hey, when you work for yourself, there's no, hey, it's 5 o'clock, I'm done for the day. There's work that still needs to be done. This is your business. It'll be waiting there for you when you come back tomorrow. So, or maybe it's not, especially in the sales world, it may not be there for you. So the key thing there is this understanding that I own it. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So I have to make sure it happens.
I love that. If it's meant to be, it's up to me.
Yep.
I'm gonna start using that too.
Okay.
Yep. So another question here: Integrity Marketing Group is known for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think truly sets it apart from other organizations, and why?
So I think that being a part of a larger organization that is comprised of people just like yourself, all with the same objectives, same obstacles, same challenges, same potential benefits. The key differentiator is what you do with the tools that are there. What integrity does is it really kind of sands down the edges and says, here's all the tools you're going to need. Okay. Instead of you having to go out and focus on building your own tool, you can plug into a tool that already exists. Now, will there be wrinkles? Yeah. But there'll be wrinkles if you built your own tool as well. That's just it's going to happen no matter where you go.
The wrinkles will be a lot bigger, though.
Say again?
The wrinkles when you build your own tools are a lot bigger.
Exactly.
I've tried that already. So.
Yeah. It takes a lot longer to get it done. And when something breaks, that means you're shut down because if it's going to get fixed, it's got to be you that fix it. With integrity, you have the back office. You've got a team of people that are creating systems for your purposes. And if there's something wrong, like we have back channels where we can communicate and say, hey, look, if this would be so much better if we had X, Y, and Z. So we have a voice in that regard. Now, the key thing there is that voice, it's got to be something that's beneficial to the masses. Like, hey, you put my logo on the platform. Well, no, there's like thousands of people that use this. We can't put your logo on it. But it's got to be something that benefits everybody.
100%. So it's an amazing partnership, obviously. We've seen it, the apps, the way the apps are ran, the voice signature, even the videos and all the training videos. I mean, it's amazing.
Yep.
And then it's you get mentored by amazing people here, which is something that you should be taking advantage of. John, how important is mentorship for a new agent that's starting out in Medicare?
I think it's essential because, sometimes when you're out there by yourself, we're human. You get discouraged. You run into challenges. There's a limit to your experience. So you're going to run into things that you've never seen and you don't have an answer for. If you don't have a mentor, you're left with having to spend time and try to find an answer or make up your own versus talking to someone that's already been there and done that. And they know, look, this is what you need to do because I've done it 10 times already versus, okay, I have this Rubik's Cube in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to put it together. No, talk to someone else that already knows how to do it. And that'll save you the time and give you a higher level of certainty and confidence that you're getting the right answer because you know it's worked for someone else.
Yep, perfect. The one thing when I was working on life insurance, I'm a strong believer of people believe in themselves, but always follow a certain mentor that actually have done it.
Yep.
And I remember I was sitting in a conference and I saw this guy, right? And this guy hitting, without mentioning names, but this guy hit over 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing in the life insurance industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
What this guy is doing, right? So I'm like trying to figure out how did he hit 1 mil in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out and that time, literally, I didn't even come home to talk to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a phone call. I'm like, listen, just to let you know, I'm working 7 days a week. I'm taking 1 day off a month.
Yep.
And
Yep.
literally, that's what I did.
Yep.
My very first year hit 1.1. So my thing is, people can see these numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but what they don't see, the work ethic
The
behind
work
it.
that goes into
The
it.
time that I took away from my family, my kids, time I took away from the gym, just to be able to be at 5, 6, 7 in the morning on the road and be home by 11 p.m. at night,
Yep.
7 days a week, right?
And the rejection, like, there's often this perception that someone's a top producer, that every customer they meet just lays down and says, well, hi, what are you doing? Where do I sign? It doesn't work that way. The top producers get the same rejection that everyone else gets. The difference is they understand next. Okay, you talk to this person, nothing's moving forward. Okay, and
Go to
then
the
move on
next
to the next one. You don't stop. You don't shut down. You move on to the next person.
Most want, some will. Who's next?
Exactly.
So, what is the most common advice you give to someone who who's just getting started in this business?
We kind of talked about it. You need a mentor. You need to know what has to happen. So you need a process. A mentor can help you with that. You need resources. And then you need the thing that nobody can give you. You need the will. You have to make that commitment, that decision that I am going to keep doing this. That's typically what separates the top producers from the lower producers. The top producers, you look and see how many sales they have. What you don't understand is how many calls they had to make, how much time they spent to get to that level.
How much effort they put in?
Yeah, success really is easy if you have the willpower to make the commitment that, hey, I'm not going to stop until I succeed. A lot of people look at it as success as an if. No, success is a win. When am I going to be successful? It's going to be sooner or it's going to be later, but it's going to happen because I want it to happen.
One of our agents said something on our call one time. You met him, Moise.
Mm-hmm.
He said that if you just know, you're 10 no's from that one yes.
Mm-hmm.
How fast can you get through those no's?
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, another analogy along those lines is, sales is like baseball. Okay. If I'm a professional baseball player and I'm batting 300, okay, I'm an all-star. But that means I'm failing 70% of the time. I'm failing more than twice as often as I succeed, and I'm considered an all-star. So it's that conditioning. It's a frame of mind. In baseball, you don't have to convince someone that's batting 300 that they're a success. It's that understanding. The key is how many hits you're getting. Getting that mindset that, hey, I'm going to keep swinging until I get the hits. And as you get that practice, the more you do something, the better you get at doing it. The reason a lot of people don't get better is because they quit before they give themselves a chance to get better at something.
You do miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't see that. They just, oh, well, I guess Medicare's not for me because I sold nothing today. I'm like, hey, there's still tomorrow.
Yep.
Right?
Nothing you quit at can you succeed at. So.
You know what? I can agree more. I can agree more on that one. Well, let me ask you this. After 15 years in this industry, what is your why? What drives you every day?
My why. Like I said, I like seeing the people around me succeed. I like the fact that success in my world is measured by how many people we help. And that's really what it comes down to. What I like to instill in any of my agency partners is that this is not about the money. The money will come. If you take care of the people, the money will come. If your customers trust you and understand that you're looking out for their best interest, they won't leave you. They may leave the plan that they're with, but they'll come to you to help them find a new one.
Switch different plan.
That's what it's all about. So the most important thing for me has been, hey, look, every year, my goal is to see how many people I can help. And now, I don't sell as much myself personally. Now it's really pouring into my agency partners. Hey, how can I help you guys be more successful? If you're succeeding, that means your clients are succeeding. And then ultimately, we're all succeeding.
And we appreciate you actually flying down here from Maryland too.
Oh, no worries.
I mean,
No worries.
it's been amazing here. I mean, having you. So, integrity is more than just a name, obviously, right?
Right.
So, how do you personally live that value in your business?
I mean, again, it goes back to what my main objective is. I'm here to help people. Okay, if there's a decision being made and it's more about what I benefit from it than my client, it's the wrong decision. Really, what it boils down to is what motivates you is, hey, having those opportunities to be in front of someone and make a difference that's going to help them advance themselves. If you're doing that over and over again, then you don't have to look over your shoulders.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about, oh, there's a complaint or somebody. If I know that every single time I sit down with a client, I'm looking for what's going to help benefit them, then there's never going to be a situation where I have to worry about being questioned about what my motives were. I know that my motives were good. That's not the question. Now, my motives can be misunderstood, but I can always have justification, say the reason I did this, the reason I made this recommendation is because the client had this situation going on and this was going to help them. If you do that, then
As
there's
long as
nothing
you
to worry
can
about.
justify what you're doing
Exactly.
and why you did it in the first place, you
Exactly.
should be good to go.
Exactly.
Well, I got a last question here.
Okay.
If someone listening and is thinking, about joining this industry, but feels unsure,
Mhm.
what's one piece of advice would you leave them with?
Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, taking action. If it's something you're considering doing, the question you have to ask yourself is, what are my costs? What is the opportunity cost? If I don't take action now, what is it going to cost me to wait until the future? Because a lot of times what winds up happening is, number one, either the opportunity passes itself by, or you get into it and then you look back and say, wow, if I'd only moved sooner, I'd be so much further along in the future. So the key thing there is that you have to make a decision and a commitment. A decision and a commitment aren't the same thing.
No.
I can open a door, but walking through it, I'm committed. Okay, opening the door is a decision. Walking through it is a commitment. You have to make a commitment, and that would be my main advice to folks is, hey, look at the opportunity, see it. Hey, look, can I see myself helping people? Is that what I want to do with my time? If that doesn't interest you, especially seniors, in Medicare we're working with seniors, if that doesn't excite you, if that's not something that gets your blood pumping, hey, look, I can actually sit down with people every day and help them. I can look at Miss Jones, Miss whomever, that's 75, 85, 90 years old, and I can make a small change in her life that's going to make things better for her. If that doesn't get your blood pumping, then maybe this isn't for you.
Agreed. The what's his name? Elon Musk said, and I said that in a meeting this morning. Like, the rich keep getting richer as long as the poor keep thinking the opportunity is a scam. Right?
Absolutely.
This opportunity can change your life as an agent as well as the client life with the extra benefit it can give them.
Right.
But the reality is, if you're looking only in the point of view on how much money you put in your pocket, but not the clients, then this is what we call short-term success. And short-term success, you won't last,
Yep.
right? But if you're looking at it at the client best interest in heart, and the client, will love you, the clients are forever.
Yep.
There's when I was doing business, there's one thing I've learned: what the best way to bring business value, what the best way you can succeed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the profitability.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about the clientele.
Yep.
The more client, the more customer base that you build, the more success you're gonna have. So instead of focusing on the dollar amount, focus on the clientele. Because when you do that and you focus on the clientele, that number will actually, triple as long as you do that, as long as you focus on that. But if you only focus on that, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna lose this and you're gonna lose this.
Yep.
And that's the reality is you gotta focus on your clients' best interest and make sure have their best heart.
Yep.
Their best at your heart, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the big differences is understanding that this is an industry that you can do very well on the basis of solely your effort alone. There's a lot of things. Oh, okay, you got to go and recruit people, or you got to go to school for. Like, if I want to be a neurosurgeon, I've got to get an undergraduate degree and a doctorate and everything else. Go through all that before I can find out if I'm even good at it. This is something that you can actually learn while you're earning. And that's the key thing is taking what you learn and applying it and repeat. Take what you learn, apply it, repeat. And you keep doing that over and over and over again. You will get better. You will get better. It's impossible to not get better if you practice. The key thing is where people fail is where they stop. You're never a failure until you quit. Okay? Everyone gets knocked down. Everyone has obstacles. If this was easy, everyone would be doing it.
Agreed.
That's the key thing. That's what makes us specialists. That's what makes this such a special thing. There's challenges which weed out the weak. If you're strong enough and you've got the mentality and the commitment, you can be successful at this.
The one thing, I've told my team all the time is fail stands for first attempt in learning, right? And no stands for next opportunity.
Yeah.
So let's take this to, keynotes and this wording and understand that if I fail today, that's just my learning curve, right? And if you notice my team, like when they don't sell a client, like if you notice what Angela today said, she was like, it cost me $30 to learn this lesson, right? Because they understand the value of learning sometimes worth more than just, the money. Because when you learn, guess what? The next time you run through that issue, you don't have to worry about making that mistake again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, the spin on that, though, again, if you focus on building rapport and relationship with those clients, in that particular situation, that can still be an opportunity for you in the future.
Yep.
That's where a lot of agents fail is that, I didn't make a sale, throw it in the trash can. Like, these are people. You don't throw people away. Their situation right now is they might be fine. And, one of the things that, piece of advice that I heard another agency partner, John, I'll give you props, John Speck. He had this old saying, no one wants to hear the baby's ugly. When you're talking to customers, a lot of times people feel like in order to make one thing look better, they have to make what the person has look bad. It's like, no, it's not that. Because think about it. You probably sell the product that they have already. So how disingenuous would it be for you to say company A is horrible, you should buy company B? That's not what it is. It's, hey, look, you know what? I understand why you bought that. I offer that product as well. However, in your situation, this may be a little bit better for you. So I congratulate. That's a great company. You made a good decision, but here's where we can make things a little bit better.
Have you, I don't know, have you ever heard my saying AAA methods? Agree, acknowledge, ask questions. Yep. I use that all the time. Agree, never talk bad about any product ever.
Yep.
Right? And, I agree with whatever they say, acknowledge it, then ask questions. And usually the question I ask are a question I already know the answer to.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And these stuff that actually can help us. So
it is. You get the client talk. If the client is talking, you're still in the game.
100%.
If you get them talking, they're comfortable enough with you that you have to reel them in and say, hey, okay, Ms. Jones, let's talk about a little business. So that's good because they're comfortable with you. They like you. And that's the foundation of a relationship. And that relationship doesn't end with a sale. It begins.
100%. Well, I appreciate that, John. Anything else would you like to leave the audience?
Oh, yeah. Well, I do want to say, I mean, congratulations to you and your team. You guys are off to a phenomenal start. I'm very impressed with your leadership, with your team, the energy. Everyone's pumped and engaged. And I mean, in a very short span of time, you've gone from scratch to blowing up. Like you are on the radar big time in a very short span of time. So
Thank you so
great
much.
job,
Appreciate
great
it. It's
job.
all your mentorship, so I appreciate you on that.
I just pointed, you ran.
Appreciate it. And everybody, I mean, we appreciate you guys watching this. If you're interested in joining our team, joining this winning team, the team that's actually, blowing up, we have everything in place for you. In-house lead source, all live transfer. You just pick up the phone and answer the phone and help these seniors. That's all you have to do, right? Pick up the phone and help the seniors. So obviously you can come to an office. We have an office space for you. You can sit down, listen, and help your clients. Someone like myself will be right on top of you to help you close a couple deals, and that way you can get the hang of it. The only person that fails in this business, the people, it doesn't work. Other than that, guys, I want to say I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to see you next time. God bless.